Hi everybody, this is Tony from Blue Butterfly Creations, and I have a Father's Day outdoor kind of themed 2-page layout for you. And a technique we're going to be using today is distressing, and we're going to be using the Peeled Paint Distress ink by Tim Holtz, and it is marketed by Ranger. So what I have here, this is what I'm going to be using, is a pre-cut piece of pattern paper. This is at 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and I have this piece of green which is cut at 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to lay my pieces down, and I'm going to use my inker here to distress. And I actually have one of these little sorting cases that you could use for like your embroidery class or something. I printed out my label from Ranger's website, and for each of the inks that I have, I've done that little color swatch and taped it to the inside, and then the piece that I use for that ink is in that area. So I need my peeled paint, which is right here. Put it on here. And when you're distressing using the inks, you want to use circular motions and come in from the edge. Just like this. Circles coming in from the edge. Circles coming in. Now, for my pattern paper here, I'm actually doing green. I'm going to go back with the walnut stain to darken up some of the spots. So that's that piece. I'm going to take my green paper and do the same thing, ink it up, and coming in with little circles, bringing in the color from the outside edge. Turn my paper, do the same thing. Circles, bringing in that color from the outside edge, deepening it where I want to. Same thing. As you can see, I'm working circles counterclockwise towards me. That's what works best for me. You can do it clockwise away from you if that works better. But really, the circling gives it an even coat of color. So there is the distressed second mount. Alright, so I'm going to exchange my top here because I need the walnut stain. Again, this is the Distress ink, designed by Tim Holtz and marketed by Ranger. Here it is. Walnut stain. I'm going to put that over there. Pick up some color, dabbing it on. Same idea, bring it in, circle motion. Let's add some dark color. And as you remember, I went through with my green already, so this is just going to deepen some of the edges, just like that. Good. Okay. And I did that for all of my pieces. So I have 2 pieces of the pattern paper cut at 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. 2 of the green backings cut at 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. I have 3 pieces of the pattern paper cut at 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. 3 pieces of the green paper cut at 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And I have a piece of the pattern paper cut at 3 1/2 by 5 with matching mount that's cut at 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Then, from one of the earlier slabs a few years ago, I purchased, it came with this nice little fishing outdoor pattern paper, and it came with this brown rim. But what I did is I took my walnut stain and the same distressing technique, brought in some of the color from the outside edge up and around all the sides, and I did that to 2 pieces. Alright, so I'm going to start adhering my pieces together. So I have my pattern paper on my little one. I'm going to run some adhesive on that, center it. That one's done. Same thing with this one. Now when I cut these, I cut them so that if they had the word Dad, I made sure that they were going to be upright so they could be read. Just in case I wanted to do journaling on the piece, but not enough to cover it, it wouldn't be upside down. Okay. So I have those pieces here. Now I'm going to start playing with how I'm going to put them on my pages. Here's the first page. This is going to be my right-hand page. I also have some brown ribbon in various lengths. I'm not really sure if I want ribbon where it is a masculine page. But I also have these little metal tabs. And this one actually says strong. And my dad was in the Marine Corps. So he is a very strong individual. And I'm just going to slip this one on here actually. Before I tack it down to the page. There we go. I'm just going to press it. And I'm going to be making sure that it adheres here. Here. So I'm going to start putting some adhesive on the back, and maybe I will put a little bit of ribbon just to cover the corners. I'm going to do opposite corners on the little pieces. So I'll add a nice little detail. There. There's one. And now I'm going to need some for the other page, so I'll cut those now. I'm just using regular Scotch tape to hold this ribbon in place. There we go. So now I'm going to put some adhesive on the back so it can stay on my page. I'm going to just tilt this one and put it down here. This one up towards the top. A little tilted, not so much. There we go, perfect. I'm going to take my larger one, run adhesive on the back here. I'm going to swap out my Permatac for my high tack, and I'm going to put some on the metal. So that way I know it will stay in place as well on the page. And this is by Glue Wire Pro by Glue Arts. And then I'm going to place this about center. Just like that. So there is the right hand side of this layout. So bring it in so you can see this distressing. And I left plenty of room for journaling. Place that off to the side, bring in my other half. This is going to be the left hand side. I'm going to run some adhesive here. Go. Wrap my ribbon. Like that. Do it again from the other side as well. Go. Run my adhesive on the next piece. There we go. Slip this one onto the side here. This one says handsome. Go. Flip it over. Gonna run some of my Permatac on the paper. Swap out my cartridge. Run some high tack on the metal. Flip it over, and this one's gonna go towards the left side. This one here is gonna go towards the bottom. And this smaller one up towards the top. And there you have a very quick 2-page outdoor Father's Day layout. Stop that. There we go. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of bluebutterflycreations.blogspot.com.